Guess what? Most delivery mistakes can be avoided by the right training. Don't let failed deliveries ruin your business. My name is Eddie. I own the $2 million event rental business along my business partner Xavier. We've made well over $7 million in lifetime revenue. Today I'm gonna be going over the top 5 things that we do to train our delivery drivers. And stay until the end to see how we've implemented our training. For more information, download our guide below to train your drivers. So training, guys, super important, because one thing that I think most of our customers now want and look for is consistency. Back in the past, things were all over the place. We had one person kind of doing their own thing and another person doing it more so what we want. But just overall the data and the trials and errors, we basically come to realize that, consistency is key, I believe. And this is why that we kind of made these 5 points that we kind of really try to dig down in our employees and try to make them to kind of learn. And we have like a little checkbox and we kind of check off and make sure that they understand and they're actually moving the way that they want to move, because if you got people that are moving kind of all over the place, you can't really build synergy. And synergy, I believe, is like the key, especially when you're doing like tents, or you're depending on this person to kind of accomplish certain deliveries in certain times. Everybody has to kind of be consistent and moving. So yeah, in the past, I think we had drivers kind of just say, hey, here goes your list of deliveries to do, knock it out. And then next thing you know, I'm like getting a call saying like, hey, we're gonna be late to this one delivery. I was like, how is that even possible? How we're gonna be late on this delivery? Like when we started at 6 a.m. in the morning and like delivery time wasn't until like 11. And come to find out, the driver was like kind of doing his own thing, taking his own routes. He's like, oh, I want to go in this area first. And yeah, you couldn't do that because, traffic, and now you put itself in a bad position. Or even more so, we have people that just, took the wrong vehicle per se. Like this is really recent. I mean, probably like last year. That was more of like a mistake, but is now something that we kind of put in criteria. He jumped in a vehicle that he wasn't supposed to take, and he got in an accident, and now we're in a big kind of issue. And I can't go too deep into details because we're still like getting to figuring it out and the details, but I'm sure you can imagine what has happened there. So yeah, he took a vehicle he's not supposed to, because that vehicle is not even supposed to be on the road. But it is what it is, that we got kind of things like more controlled now, and like I said, consistent, so that can't happen in the future.
Now, if you need more help in your rental business, please click the link below for our free ultimate checklist showing you how to start and run your rental business.
So first on our list is going to be accuracy. When we talk about accuracy in the rental industry, it can really make or break it with your customers. And I'm going to give an example. We early on would only deliver on like Saturdays, right? And sometimes when we do these deliveries, we'll make mistakes. And the mistakes would be very costly because we would have so many deliveries to do on Saturday. We literally could not afford a mistake or the time to make that mistake. And so, we're running around trying to make it right. And then just that one mistake basically ruined it for other customers, because now we're behind in schedule. But now what we kind of done to eliminate that risk is that we deliver the items early now. So if we do make a mistake, then we kind of get ahead of the game and we get it rectified before the actual event. But accuracy is very key to a delivery driver's success here in this company. So what we have done is to basically teach them how to double count and even sometimes triple count. I always have a meeting every Tuesday, and I have to tell the guys like, hey, we really need to like slow down, because I understand we're trying to get it done as fast as possible, but these little steps as far as like double counting your load, even triple counting your load, will actually save you hours of time. Because some of the events that we do here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we go all the way up to like 2 hours away, as long as it's profitable. But if you make a mistake 2 hours away, that's 2 hours getting there and then 2 hours back. So that's like 4 hours. So you just imagine if you said, uh-oh, I forgot, 2 tables, we'll say. Well, now that's 4 hours of time that we have to spend on rectifying that issue. And then we were like making that mistake in the worst possible. That's one thing I've also realized in the rental industry is like, if anything can happen, it will happen. It always happens at the worst time too. So like the times that you don't have time to do these things is when the mistakes happen. So now we kind of train everybody like, hey, everybody, from where we're loading the items on the truck, we're double counting before we move on to the next one. So for instance, we'll say that we have, white chairs, regular white plastic folding chairs. We'll say we're putting all of them in our trucks. And so we'll say we have 100 of them, we'll put all 100 in there, and then we'll count the 100. And then we'll move on to the next item, which will be like 6-foots. Then we'll put our 6-foots in our trucks, and we'll put, 20, and then we'll count, make sure they're 20. So that's the process that we do. We kind of put everything in where it needs to be, and then we'll count it, and then we'll just check off on our list. And then once we're done with that, either the same person that loaded the items, they'll check again, or maybe somebody at the warehouse or the helper for the day will jump in there and check as well. Because like I mentioned in the other videos, sometimes you're just like trying to run and gun, and you kind of like, I guess in your mind you count the right amount, but actually when you're on site, the real amount kind of presents itself that you actually have on your truck. So yeah, the double, triple check is one of the things that we really try to implement on training with our employees. Second thing on our list is following procedures. We really try to implement to all our delivery drivers that, hey, the procedures are there and have been developed over the course of many years for a reason, because we've encountered problems and we've came up with solutions, and that's part of the procedure that we have you now follow. And so yeah, we implement that, if you get to a certain situation, you have to do it this way. Or even so, like even the beginning of the day when the drivers get here, they're supposed to walk around their vehicle, check the vehicle, and make sure that it has the basic stuff like, your tires aren't flat, or any kind of potential dangers that you see. Even to the point where we're telling the dispatcher like, hey, I'm gonna be here at this location in an hour or 30 minutes, and everything has a purpose. So the whole walking around the vehicle, the purpose for that, and we've had this in the past, is like sometimes you'll pick up a nail and you won't know it. And if you do that little simple walk around, you can easily catch it, and then we can like rectify the issue before it becomes a bigger issue. Because even if you have a nail or a screw in the tire and if you hit like a pothole or something like that and it hits it just right, it'll blow that little screw out, or even worse, freaking mess the tire up or the rim. And then now we're down for like 2 hours because we're trying to get to you, get a tow truck to you to get you like to a discount tire or some tire shop to get the tire on. Just little 2-3 minute little walk around your vehicle will prevent. Then also with the same thing with the dispatcher, kind of letting them know like your ETA on certain things. Like the dispatcher does all the calling to our clients, because one thing that we've learned is our delivery drivers aren't always like good at communications. Like they're great at delivering items, like they're nice and strong, but their communication skills or setting the customer's expectation isn't always the best, because they'll say some crazy stuff to the customer, and the customer's like, well, the driver said that y'all were gonna be back here picking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, and like, yeah, he never told anybody that. So now we kind of cut the driver out of that. The dispatcher's the only one that touches the customer as far as communication. And then also, it lets the customer have an expectation of like when the driver's gonna be there. And we always tell our guys, hey, give yourself extra 15 to 20 minutes, because stuff happens. Like, yeah, the GPS says you're gonna be there at this time, but then you hit traffic, and then there goes the extra 15, 20 minutes that you needed. So yeah, stuff like that. Also like safety equipment. A lot of times when we're putting up like tents and stuff like that, we'll have certain procedures to keep people safe. Wearing a helmet, wearing gloves. And I literally just talked to Tina about this, and she said she has a clip, so I don't know if she's gonna show the clip, but she has a pole falling down on one of our guys when they were putting up a tent. But little things like that, just it's good to implement during your team meetings if you have a team meeting, that hey, we have these procedures and we need to start following them. Or if you train your guys to do these procedures, just to make sure that they're constantly doing it, then reiterating like the reason why we do this, and the reason, we want to keep everyone safe, everybody comes home, and the deliveries get done in a timely manner. The third on our list is basically securing our load, making sure that our items are nice and secure so that mishaps don't happen. I don't know about you guys, but early on in basically the development of my business, You know, sometimes it was either, I don't know if it was laziness or just maybe no procedure kind of, you know, currently in our roster, what we teach everybody. But, you know, we were just kind of shoving things in there and like, okay, well, everything's nice and tight. It shouldn't move. And then, you know, you're driving off and then you hear boom, boom, or you know, you hear something like break or something like that in the bed of your box truck. And you're like, oh crap, I know I should have strapped this stuff down. Kind of an example, like I told Tina, I was like, hey, let's get right here on this van, but we have some kind of battle wounds here that you've seen, like things have hit the transit, the van wall, and it's basically like chipped the paint or made a little dent, but the opposite way. Usually you get dents going this way, but it's actually the opposite way. We kind of train our guys like, hey, you know, we want to make sure that the load is secured. And I know sometimes, like, even so, like, we'll get the guys put it on pallets, and they'll be like, well, it's shrink wrap, it should be good. And they'll just throw it in the box truck, and then they'll kind of roll that way. And sometimes we're good, but other times they'll fall, and then it's just a big mess, and it's way more work that we have to do. So I always tell everybody, like, hey guys, we need to secure the load, make sure there's a strap on it. If it is like tucked into each other, make sure it's really tight, and like we have to like look at the load as a whole. Like, is this really gonna move, or like what's the likeliness of this thing shifting? Because one thing I always tell everybody, like, we got to take in consideration, like, we're hitting the gas, so things are pushing back. We're hitting the brakes and things are going back, or you know, we're hitting bumps going left and right. So is there anything that can be swaying? And if there is, we need to put a strap on it. If the strap will basically, we have a couple ways we put the strap. So either we're pulling down or we're pulling across. But there's always have to have some kind of pressure in order for the items not to move around or have the possibility to fall and damage. Because nothing's worse than getting to a stop that's supposed to be super easy, because you know, you just get your pallet jack or your forklift to pull everything off. And now everything's scattered all over the place, and you basically have to do like, you know, 1,000 pickup with 1,000 chairs, and you have to stack them back on the pallets, and you can finally pull it off. So it can save time. It saves basically our rental items for being damaged, scuffed, and yeah. So we always try to implement everybody to learn how to strap everything. That way their loads are secured. So number 4 on our list is being efficient and using tools. So they both go hand in hand. I know a lot of times in our earlier days, you know, I feel like we were just muscling everything. Like everything was straight manpower, and that's why I have these guns, even though, you know, I'm getting the gut, but the guns are still there, because like, you know, all those years of just hard work and hard lifting, the body has still kept the muscles. So about tools and being efficient, they basically go hand in hand. I know a lot of times when we get on these sites, if we don't have the tool, now we're gonna have to do everything by hand. And when things are done by hand, it just takes longer and it drains your power. And then the longer the day goes, the energy level just whoop, dips down, and your efficiency goes down as well. We have a kind of a rule of thumb. Once you get over kind of like, I guess 7 hours of just like straight work, you just basically become a half a person. Like you can, yeah, you're still working, but the output that you're putting is just half of the efficiency otherwise, that if you had your energy and you're just hitting it hard. But these things right here will basically save your back, and then also on that, it just saves time. So many times, like we do a lot of corporate events, and sometimes they're on the, you know, 51st floor or whatever, and you know, just imagine taking like 100 chairs or cocktail tables, you know, grabbing them from the point from where the dock is all the way to the service elevator, then all the way up, and then offloading it to the location the customer wants. If you just have your hands, you can only carry so much. So these dollies are great because you can just stack straight on top of them, or even sometimes, you know, you can use them, if this is all you have, sometimes you can just use it in a way, if you have 2 of them, you can like stack tables and roll it to where you need to go. But they're really versatile. They don't take a lot of room, and they're just a time saver. So on top of that, you know, like we have other items, like for instance, we use cement blocks for tents. Sometimes we used to do it the good old ways with hand dolly and, you know, lifting it. But you know, now we have like a mini skid steer that we just grab it, drop it in place. The customers like to see the heavy equipment and stuff like that. So that's always a plus. It feels more professional on their side, just watching us do the work. Get the right tools, make sure that you get the job done in a fast and efficient way. The last, but I believe the most important, is I always say we need to train our guys to move with purpose, okay? And you know, it's debatable on this one because like either you have it in you or you don't. But I believe a lot of these younger kids that are coming in, like they do not have the knowledge to know that, hey, like when we're on site, we need to move with purpose, right? One thing that I told, you know, a lot of people that are my pet peeve, like I hate hearing people walk and their feet are dragging. Like it's like I'm like, like I feel like you're not moving with purpose. Like you're just like so nonchalant. So I try to train people saying like, hey, okay, well we're on site. Like there's a lot of things that we can prevent or we can save time. But like one thing for sure, like the drive time is the drive time. You know, if there's traffic, we can't do anything about that. But like when we're on site, we can actually like cut the time, get the job done faster, and then inside the truck, we can get it recovered, we can relax a little bit, drink our water, drive to our next site. So I always train everybody like, hey, we gotta move with purpose. Like we have a time frame to do. So like if we get the job, and there's another thing, like if people see that they only have 5 deliveries, they're like, oh, I don't have that many, so I'm just gonna move, like whatever. But I always tell everybody there's a lot more things to do basically besides those 5 deliveries. Like we need to prep the truck for the next day, we need to clean the vehicle. We never know because like there's so many people that call us and like, hey, it's emergency, you know, I got this one company from Facebook Marketplace and they never showed up. Oh my God, I just tried to save $1 or whatever. And they're like, okay, no problem, we're gonna take care of you. So basically we were trying to make a customer for life. So we basically put them on the schedule the same day. But if we're not moving with purpose, we can't get ahead of the game in case these occurrences do happen, you know what I mean? So I always train everybody like, hey, we need to move and we got to basically try to get the job done as fast as possible. But also, you know, in a safe manner as well. Because sometimes, like I said earlier, that the traffic's the traffic, the drive time is the drive time. And now that we have GPS monitors on our vehicles, we can see how fast they're going. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, this guy's like driving like a maniac. Like we don't need to save time with that. We don't need to, I didn't say drive with purpose. I said move with purpose. So moving is like with your body, not with the actual vehicle driving, you know, like a maniac, 100 miles an hour trying to get to the drop off. So that's one of the things that we really try to do is like, you know, get the jobs done faster. That way we can do more of them and then our guys can go home sooner.
Are you a rental business that needs a website or a software? Well, we have Rent More Pro. This is an all-in-one rental store that helps you manage things from your inventory, your contracts, and even your drivers. On top of that, it has automatic quoting and automatic invoicing to save your time and money. If you're interested in this, please click the link below for a free demo today.
So since we've implemented these key points on our training, I believe that the consistency has gotten a lot better, and for the good of the customer, a lot of the things that we were looking for in certain outcomes of situations has gotten better. Usually what we do whenever we have a problem is we write it down and we come up with a solution, because if we do the same thing, we're gonna have the same problem later on. And so now we've kind of narrowed it down to basically what we like right now, and I think the customers like too. A lot of things are moving smoothly, everybody's moving the same, and now whenever somebody comes to a certain situation, they think and say, okay, is this gonna be like the right way to do it or the wrong way to do it? And everyone now kind of chooses the right thing to do. So now we do training in a couple different ways. We basically on-site training where I'm with the person or leads with the person, training them. They're shadowing, basically monkey see, monkey do. Or, you know, we're on paper and pen and we're doing tests, or we have training videos as well that we give them from time to time. So maybe like on our Tuesday meeting, we'll just be watching training videos to re-implement the things that we've already gone over in the beginning. So yeah, everything's going a lot better, a lot smoother, I would say, the operation. And yeah, we're just continually growing and fixing old problems or even new problems that we come across. But yeah, the same thing is coming up with solutions to the problems in the most cost-efficient way. So we've come to the end of our video, unfortunately. I know you want to hear me talk some more, but you're gonna have to wait till the next one. But my name is Eddie. I'm with the Rental Boys. Me, Tina, and Xavier. We'll catch you into the next one. See ya.